Hey, folks.
Hi.
It's Reed of Apes.
And I'm Race of Apes.
We are MixedApez, the two of us. And you know what? We got a little bit of exciting something to get started here with.
It turns out that we've been doing this for a little bit, and this is our
20th episode. This is episode number 20.
I'm sorry, this is what?
This is our 20th episode.
There you go. Yeah.
Episode,
he's a little slow on the uptake, kids.
It's episode number 20. Can you even believe that?
I didn't know. I didn't think that I could spend that much time with you.
It only seems like episode number 70. Only. It's great to be able to say. I mean,
yeah, it really is pretty cool. And there seems to be enough folks out there listening that it's worth keeping doing.
Right. We might get to episode 21 before you know it.
There's some good English for
Keep
you.
and doing.
Keep
Yeah,
and doing.
we're going to keep. Are you guys going to keep and doing it? Yeah, so, you know, we're pretty excited and more than a little impressed with ourselves. So we're breaking our arms, patting ourselves in the back.
And if you've met us, you know that there's not much to be impressed with.
Right. So every little thing counts with us.
We just wanted to really share with y'all how much we appreciate you listening
Yes.
and hanging around, following all that stuff.
Right. The reason we're doing it is for you, and that sounds silly and all that, but you know, we just want to share
the
what
fun.
we enjoy with
Yeah.
the community, as it were. So thanks for being MixedApez too.
Yes, you are MixedApez if you're listening, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And I guess we're going to go ahead and get moving here, but thank
Right.
you again for letting us do this for 20 episodes in a row.
Here comes episode number 20.
Looks like we're on.
Check test.
You can see me floating and moving over there.
You got lines, you got movement.
Cool. All right.
Okay, it is time for another episode of You Should Know This Song
From MixedApez.
from MixedApez.
And that's us.
That's us. Race and Reed and Race. You know us, you
Those
love us.
crazy guys.
Yeah, you can't resist.
Well,
We're sitting here in Race's Oasis
there he goes again.
at the MixedApez Studios.
In lovely downtown Wentzville.
Lovely downtown Wentzville, home of Chuck Berry and other famous things. And we're just delighted to be here.
Yeah, and ready to get rocking. We got a couple segments for you here coming up.
Right? We're going to do our Prime Cuts segment. And if you're not familiar with that, there are ways you can find out. And one of them is to just listen.
Follow it. We're going to follow it that. Followed by quick hits. That's
Right.
a kind of a boom, boom, boom kind of segment that we do.
And we're going to try to really do a lightning round of quick hits
Yeah,
for the
right.
fun of
That's
it.
happening.
Well, I think it'd be fun if we could pull it off.
Sure. And then we have an uncontrolled substance. We're going to visit the albums released in 1984. That'd be 40 years ago this year.
Right.
We thought that might be a little fun.
And Orwellian.
And Orwellian. Yeah, I didn't put it in. I kind of was thinking about that. I was like, yeah, just move on.
Right.
I could do a whole thing about a Harlan Ellison anthology I'm reading right now that would all tie in. And
Yeah.
no, thank you. Anyway, so I think it's time for us to stop talking and start talking.
Right. A couple of things we want to get out of the way here before we actually jump into the challenges themselves is...
I have a correction. Well, it's more of a smacking myself in the head for being stupid than a correction. Recent episode, we talked about the Inner Secrets album by Santana.
Yeah.
I mentioned the singer, but I didn't know his name. I didn't have it noted.
Right.
I actually know his name. I just kind of like,
Right.
So at any rate, Greg Walker was the singer for that album and several other albums, and in my opinion, may have just been the best singer that was in a Santana band.
Well, yeah.
For me personally.
Remarkable, very identifiable voice. And I have to say, I'm not sure I know of anything outside of his Santana work.
I'd have to look.
Which is sad.
I should have looked that up while I was looking this up, but I didn't.
But his voice is super recognizable and really, really good. So worth going back for the correction. Absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely. And something I'm excited about is Gary Clark Jr. has a new album out. And if you are not familiar with Gary Clark Jr., please, I urge you, take a few minutes, even if you just YouTube a few of his songs. He's a more recent, I want to say, artist, although he's not a kid. He is fantastic blues, authentic blues artist. He's a fantastic rock guitarist, blues rock guitarist and rock guitarist. He's recently his latest album. He does a duet with Stevie Wonder. He gets to perform with
pretty cool.
Stevie Wonder,
Yep.
folks. So it's reason I bring that up is a statement on how really good he is. So anyway, I won't gush too much, but check out Gary Clark Jr.'s new stuff and his old stuff too. It's amazing.
And the last thing that I have, for some friends and family and for ourselves, I've just recently ordered a bunch of T-shirts. I don't have anything up on the web yet. Probably have that in a day or two. Essentially just saying, hey, I mean, the logo's pretty cool. It's our logo. It's got a little bit of a change in there. But at any rate, I'm just going to put them up there. And if you guys have an interest in them, send a note via the website, and we'll see if we can't, depending on how much interest we garner,
Sure.
we'll see if we can't get them out there for folks. So,
Yeah.
and then that's just another reason to go see us on the website. So, all that aside, I think I'm ready to prime, baby.
Ready to prime. You're primed and ready.
Primed to prime.
Okay. Why don't you start then, Mr. Primed and Ready?
You got it, my friend.
What do you got for me? What?
You should know this song.
How about we've been trying to turn our lives around? Sounds familiar, but next line is, since we were little kids, been tearing us down. We've been trying to turn our lives around since we were little kids, been tearing us down. I should know this song.
You should know this song.
Okay, I'm going to say that I'm not going to get this one. And I'm going to be sad about it, I think.
I think you probably are. It's John Hyatt,
Yeah.
Drive South,
No. I don't
off
know.
the Slow Turning album, which is every song on there.
Right.
Is pretty much, I mean, that's kind of, to me, that's his prime. That's,
I was going to say that might be his best known album.
yeah, there were two albums there, kind of right in a row.
Right.
And anyway, it's an album that I play, or a CD that I played the hell out of in the late 80s. That's the song, again, Drive South, the artist John Hyatt, the songwriter John Hyatt, the album Slow Turnin', the year 1988. And for a couple of years there were 2 or 3 John Hyatt discs that just were
Yeah. On
on regular rotation in my house.
Right.
Along with a bunch of blues. This is kind of when the also the it's a Clapton album. The word means a person who's good in their craft. I can't remember the name of it now. It's completely blocked.
That's the title of the Clapton album?
Yeah, no, that's not what it means. Like, the title of the album is Journeyman. There we go.
Journeyman,
Thank
there
you.
you
So
go.
sorry
There
about
you
that.
go.
But anyway, those 2 or 3 albums, man, like they were on.
Right,
Constant.
on rotation.
Yeah. And John Hyatt's more of a folk-ish guy, but there's kind of a blues thing, and I guess that was a period when I was listening to a lot of blues.
Absolutely.
So anyway,
And
sorry
I'm somewhat familiar with the Slow Turnin' album.
Oh yeah.
It was one of his more popular, probably to my knowledge, his most popular album.
There was that and Bring the Family. Those two were they came out one right after the other.
Right.
And that was when the Bonnie Raitt connection happened, and he got this thing called Love that she does is his original tune.
Right.
Which I think probably helped boost his popularity somewhat. So.
Yeah, but he's got a huge catalog. And I have done better we've talked a few times about how I don't know as much John Hyatt as I should. And I've done better at listening to it, but I'm not going to know a lot.
He had a project with Ry Cooder.
Yeah.
Something Houses. But I don't know top of my head.
Right.
But it's definitely, I mean, anything Ry Cooder touches to me is pretty damn good.
Right.
So that's definitely worth checking out.
Another one of those names that everybody should be listening to. Okay, it's me, right?
Yeah, what do you got, brother?
Hey, you big ape.
Yes.
You should know this song.
What should I know here? Let's see what they say. You and I got something, but it's all and then it's nothing to me. The rhythm of that kind of sounds familiar. You got another clue for me?
I'll help you out and say don't think back too far. It's a more recent song.
Okay.
It's not new by any means.
And I got my defenses when it comes through your intentions for me. Yeah, all right. You and I got something, but it's all and then it's nothing to me. And I got my defenses when it comes through your intentions for me. Yeah, I'm not. I don't
That
have
first line would have been the giveaway.
What do you got?
It's actually the starting line for
is
the
it?
song, and it is the Goo Goo Dolls. Here Is Gone.
It might be something that if I heard the song, I would recognize.
You
but
would.
It doesn't ring a
It's
bell.
been all over the radio and all over the elevator and all over the the Walmart overhead for 15 years. Just it was a huge hit for them,
I guess I'll have to listen.
and huge crossover, rock, pop, adult,
Sure.
the whole thing. So that was Goo Goo Dolls, written by Johnny Resnick, or John T. Resnick to be more accurate. 2002 was the release date, and off of the album Gutter Flower. And
That's kind of a cool.
I just thought I'd take a chance on that one
Sure.
because it was so very popular. So you tell me something I should know.
I think you should know this song, and you definitely should know this song.
Well, what I should know is I've fallen in love. That's the first lyric I got.
And that's pretty generic, so we'll toss another one in there.
I've fallen in love for the first time. Yeah, wait a minute. My mind is putting it together. Give me just a second here. Is it Don't Let Me Down?
No.
What am I hearing? I'm only hearing Don't Let Me Down. Fall in love for the first time. It's a love that knew. Don't Bring Me Down. No, it's not. I'm not on the right song. It's not
No,
a Beatles song.
you're not even in that neighborhood.
Not in the neighborhood. I'm
It's
stuck on that. What is it?
It's Queen. I want to break free.
Oh, yeah. Want to break? Yeah, and no, I see. Right.
I'm not even going to try to say it.
No, do your best, Freddie Mercury. Come on.
Yeah.
I'll do it right after you do.
Yeah. So Queen, we're not starting off very strong.
We're
here, I
not.
just
We're
wanna
not.
say.
We're flubbing, as
Yeah,
they say.
it happens to be a beautiful
As the
day here
kids
in
say.
Lovely downtown Wentzville, and maybe we should be doing this outside. At any rate, Queen,
Or Bonnie Raitt.
I Want to Break Free, and you can find a new one. Written by John Deacon. 1984, The Works was the name of the album. And apparently none of us knows anything today. So
Right. Great song.
yeah, it's a wonderful
that's
song.
and great vocal performance, although that's Freddie Mercury in a nutshell. Great vocal performance, probably even when he's just speaking at a convention.
As he did so often.
How do I know? I mean, I never met the guy.
What do I know?
Okay, moving along to me and what I have for you. Race of Apes, I think you should know this song.
I do know this song. The clue is give me a job, give me security. It sticks.
Yeah.
Is it Too Much Time on My Hands? Is that right?
No.
It's that album.
You got to go
though.
a little further back.
You think so?
Yeah.
Give me a job, give me security, give me a chance to survive.
I'd rather be a do.
You're not helping.
Not? I'd
No.
rather be a blue collar man.
Was it Blue Collar Man?
Blue Collar Man.
Yeah, it's the same.
I thought you were
Thematically, the songs are similar.
yeah, they do have some
Yeah.
similarity. I thought
So-
you were working your way, like the DJ wasn't playing fast enough to get to the chorus for you, so I was trying to jump ahead for
that. Give me a chance. I'm not a charity case. I remember
there you
most
go.
of the lyrics, but I
There you
just
go.
couldn't come up with the title, so I don't get that one. That's another miss.
You do not get that
Give
one.
us the specifics. That'd be off of. Is that off of Paradise?
Pieces of Eight.
Pieces of Eight.
1978, written by Tommy Shaw. I'm just going to go ahead and say the great Tommy Shaw. And again, Styx, spelled with a Y and an X. For
Yeah.
those of you who
Well,
are
it's named
uninitiated.
after the river.
Yes. We assume.
They
They may have just been stoned and being creative in the basement and been like, let's spell Styx a different way. The only reason I relate to that is because that's something I would do.
Sure. Well, yeah.
Duh. Right.
We, as we've mentioned before, they were a Chicago area band,
Yes.
and I may have mentioned this before. They were the homecoming band the year before I went into high school at the high school I went to.
You did. I don't remember you mentioning
So
that
like
before.
they were. If I was a year older, I would have been able to see them play in the gym at my high
You
school.
would have had. I'm going to digress for 1 second
Go ahead.
here because it makes me want to go off on like 3 bands I saw when they were like, playing at a high school or playing in some back alley when I was a kid, who then went on to be like, wow, I saw them for free at a local park. You know what I
Sure.
mean? I would love to do an episode like that, but somehow have, because that would trigger everybody out there to be like, oh, I saw so and so.
Sure.
Every time I touch on this kind of conversation out and about, everybody's got a story
Yeah.
about the band who became a big deal that they saw when they were, the kids garage banding down the street.
Absolutely.
So that would be
I
fun.
was talking to a friend of mine last night who happens to play guitar and is very good. And he's, in his mid-early 40s kind of age. And he has some buddies that are, his words, old heads, meaning people our age, that he plays regularly, gets together and jams with or, plays music with. And they were, a couple, 3 years ago, apparently they were like, hey, let's just do like our own little street fair thing and, go to the park. And I guess they got into a Knights of Columbus something or somewhere like that. And it's their third year. And the first year, like, it was a handful of bands, 4 or 5 bands, 1,500 people showed up.
Nice.
And
Nice.
they've done it a couple times since.
Right.
And they were bands that have been playing in the St. Louis area for like not continuously, but have played in the St. Louis area for the last 35 years. These are guys that have they've made a living out of being local bands.
Right.
And I believe it's actually going on next month. I'm going.
Well, sure.
I mean, I don't know any. I wasn't here when they were all coming up and all that.
Right.
But his band's going to be there, and
I
hell,
love that. I love that whole thing. The bands at the park thing. Just it's the best.
And
right.
they do a bunch of everybody's cover bands. There might be a handful of original tunes.
Right.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. We went to. I won't go into it, but we've been to a couple in a
those
town
kind of things.
in a town down the road where they had, 4 or 5 bands over the course of a day. Just great. Not a giant,
County fair kind of thing. Yeah.
Or even at a local amphitheater where it's. Radio station promoted, and there's all thousands.
It wasn't
and thousands
that kind
of
of
people.
thing.
It's a more of a chill, more of a chill thing.
Pull up a
Way more
cooler
enjoyable.
and bring your lawn chair. And,
right.
Cool. Did you get your specifics on that?
I did, and that means you have to give me one that I can succeed on.
All right. I think you can do that on this one, and I'm going to say this is the last one that I'm doing in this segment.
Okay, I'll do one more.
So here, I've got your content here for you. Just going to drop it right on the page, as they say.
Drop it like it's hot.
As my wife said, drop it like a sock. That's one of my wife's favorite sayings. And I don't know where it came from, but it's so endearing.
That is a good one. That could have been... You could have saved that as a bean enchilada.
There you go. Right. And you should know this song.
Okay, my challenge is Rulers Make Bad Lovers. Give me more. You better put your kingdom up for sale. Sure. That would be Miss Butterfly Gypsy Lady with her Fleetwood Mac
friends,
people.
Yep.
And it is...
Oh, he's playing the song in his head.
Oh, I got to get to the... See, I got to play all the way through. Chain. The Chain.
Nope. Right album.
I'm just trying to get there.
Sure.
And if you don't let me now, you never let me again.
No, that's not the same
I'm
one.
skipping
that's
off
the Chain.
the song?
That's the Chain. This is Gold Dust Woman.
Gold Dust Woman. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
wow,
I gave you one to get there.
I kind of got it,
you
but I
got
couldn't
pretty
get
much
to
everything except the actual name of the song.
Kinda got it, but I couldn't get to
and
it.
any other lyrics because you were singing the wrong song.
I never thought about how that song, like my brain kept transitioning right off into the rhythm and the key in Chain.
We'll have to actually. Off air, listen to those and say, are they really interchangeable? I don't think they are.
Oh well, that was fun but sad because I didn't finally get it, but it was still fun. At least I heard it and knew it and had something.
Gold Dust Woman, Fleetwood Mac, written by Stevie Nicks, or what did you call her?
Butterfly Gypsy Lady.
There you go. 1977. Rumors, and for those of you that don't know, and there's probably only 3 of you left in the world. Fleetwood Mac had been around for about 10 or 12 years, long before this album hit.
Before Rumors, there were
record
shattering.
Probably, I'm going to say 8 or 9 albums out. They were a blues rock band. Peter King came from there.
Music.
And there were easily a half a dozen albums that were very well known among musicians and in the UK, obviously. But we didn't know who they were until Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham joined the
Yes.
band. We being
Yes.
the U.S.
Right. We didn't know much of it, if we knew any of it at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So this is going to be my last one
For this segment,
for this segment. Let's see if I can pull this off. I have confidence that you're going to know this song. You should know this song, Race of Apes.
she told me not to mess around, but I done let the deal go down. That's the Delaware Destroyers. Yeah, George Thorogood and the Delaware Destroyers. That's his band.
Right. That's
And this is Move It On Over, I believe is the name of the song.
yes. Move it on over. Yes.
He's talking to his dog. He's getting in the doghouse. That's the whole song.
Right, right.
I don't know that he wrote it.
He did
I
not.
doubt he wrote it. It's probably a blues standard. He really can rock some old
old
honky tonk and
standards
blues,
and
man.
stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of two minds about George Thorogood. Like, I really like if I'm listening to a George Thorogood song.
Yeah.
I really like George Thorogood. And then I look at it and it's like, well, he's another boogie guitarist and he can sing and it's really like I'm wrong. Like all of that's bullshit. He's a lot of fun.
Yeah, right.
He's a lot of fun to listen to.
Right.
And there's, I'm going to say 10, 12 pretty good sized hits.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
that he owns the radio
Yeah.
for a while.
Right.
If you listen to classic rock radio, you know a bunch of
George Thorogood.
Yeah.
Right. And he he does some covers. He's certainly got a few original hits also, but he does a great job redoing the covers.
I think,
what
I
mean?
agree.
He puts
I
his
agree.
own
And he plays
stamp
with
on
a
it.
bunch of like he'll tour with other artists that are well known in the industry, but maybe not as well known out in the public.
Right.
And so he'll bring, a guitarist that's been a guitarist for 30 years and has 10
Right.
albums out, but maybe everybody doesn't know who they are. He'll bring them up on stage kind of a thing all the time.
Right.
I want to
And
say
jam with them and all that.
Elvin Bishop and he did some work together. I may be wrong about that.
Certainly
I'll
seems
probably
like
have to go
a,
back and check that.
So it certainly seems like a common ground kind of tie together. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that song, and one of the reasons I was excited we got to it, is a Hank Williams Sr. song
Really?
from 1947. And it was a single release for Hank Williams Sr. I couldn't find, other than, greatest hits and compilation albums for him, I couldn't find an album that it was designated to. But the interesting factoid I came across researching it is that song is considered the first rock and roll song by lots of people out there. I can't remember the particular website, but the website that posted it had a link to a Rolling Stone article, something like it was a substantial reference.
So
And
some folks consider it because that Rocket 88. Some people think that's the first rock and roll song.
Right, and the thing they mentioned was that it was competing with Rock Around the Clock as like. That's the first, you know what I mean? The argument is a Rock Around the Clock was actually the first rock and roll song, but the Hank Williams song was released prior.
Right.
So there's a little
and it was Hank Williams,
thing.
which wasn't exactly a rock and roll stylist, right?
Right.
So yeah, I've got a buddy who says the same musician I was talking about, who says as far as he's concerned, "Dust My Broom" is the first rock and roll tune.
Yeah, I've seen that reference as well.
Yeah. So
yeah,
and who the hell am I? I don't know any of them.
Yeah, I mean it's up for it's always going to be up for argument. I'm sure nobody's going to be able to put a stamp of approval of some kind on it. But it was interesting tidbit and worth going to check out. Some interesting reading there.
All right, so that brings us to the end of the Prime segment.
That
for
is
this
the
episode.
End of Prime Cuts. We are moving along to
Quick Hits.
Hits, which we're going to try to do quick.
You keep saying that, and
I know
I
I'm
know
putting
you.
pressure
I've
on
met you. We've hung out before. You don't know how to do quick.
I don't know quick.
It's
Well,
not built into your
we're
stuff.
just gonna see. We're just gonna see if I can pull it together for the first time in 61 years. And,
I believe, sir, that it is your turn to start.
okay, I'll take your challenge. So here we go with my clue for you. You should know this quick hits song.
Juiced up and sloppy.
I'm going to give you another one real
Yeah,
quick.
give
I
me
thought
another
that
one,
one
because
might.
that's not hitting it.
It's a distinct lyric, and when you see the second part, I'm certain you'll get it right away.
Ain't touched a drink all night. Juiced up and sloppy, ain't touched a drink all night. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, who is this?
It's Bitch by Stones.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm going to have to listen to that now.
Yeah. The lyrics of that song are great. I mean, just great.
Yeah.
So I had 100% confidence
I
in
can
you on
actually
that one.
hear the rhythm in my head right
Juiced up
now.
and sloppy, ain't touch a drink all night. Okay, so that was. I'm hurrying up. I'm trying not to digress. Bitch by the Rolling Stones, written by Jagger and Richards, 1978, off of Sticky Fingers, and it's a great song. Just a great song still.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when you call my name, I salivate like Pavlov's dog.
Yeah, when you hear me
Lay me out.
Lay me out. My heart starts about pounding. Is that right? Yeah.
Heart's beating louder than a big bad.
Something like that.
All right.
You should be able to
know this
tell me
song.
what this song is. I was just kind of being silly.
Well, now he's too old to rock and roll and too young to die, which, didn't you just give away the title to the song? You're never too old to rock and roll if you're too young to die.
Yeah.
That's the Tulls, the Jethro Tulls.
Yeah, that was a pretty lame...
and
why was I doing that?
Because it's quick hits, and that made it quick.
Okay,
that
there
made
you
it
go.
very fast.
There you go.
Which I thought mine would too, but it wasn't quite as obvious. So,
all right. So obviously Jethro Tull, Ian Anderson wrote that. The album, oddly enough, but the name same as the song. Too Old to Rock and Roll, Too Young to Die, 1976. Yeah, I can't remember why I picked that one. I think I was trying to make a point.
And I think the actual title of the song and the album is actually Never Too Old.
Nope. Nope. It's Too Old to Rock and Roll, Too Young to Die.
Okay, then.
Okay, so you can argue with me and look it up later.
Yeah. You took away all my fun. I was trying to have fun with the phrasing of the song. And we're moving on because this is Quick Hits Lightning Round.
Sure, that's
you
what I
see what
hear.
I'm doing here?
Yeah, good luck with that.
I got my pedal to the metal.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you race of apes should know this song quickly.
Look in My Eyes. Could be the rest of it.
Oh, well, maybe I can see that isn't quite as easy as I thought.
What do you see? No.
Yeah, it's right there. I can tell.
Yeah. Look in my eyes. What do you see? I don't have it. What is it?
Cult of Personality.
Oh, yeah.
I was vacillating on making that a starting line.
Sure.
So I'm kind of glad I didn't make it a starting line.
That, by the way, is a phenomenal album.
Oh, all the way through.
Yeah.
I played a whole through that CD. I mean, just for a summer, for a year, I had it. Like, do I want to put something else in the CD player? Nah.
What year was that?
I'm just going to go ahead and play this again. 1988. Vivid was the name of the album, CD.
Yep.
Living Color, of course. Corey Glover, Muzz Skillings, Vernon Alphonsus Reed, and William Calhoun. If you haven't.
And by the way, I can hear the song. I can hear the lyrics now.
Well, absolutely. Right. That song is obviously pretty ubiquitous. It's super well known. It's their
and he's got a great voice too.
Most identifiable song for sure, but every song on that CD is just great. I mean,
it's
just
a great
awesome.
album.
Yeah.
It really is. And I know they had other albums, but nothing that had the impact that did.
And I keep saying CD because I can see the CD case in my head, and I'm in the front seat of my car, and I'm sticking it in the player again. You know what I'm saying?
All right. I am. I'm going to give you one here that is an absolute laydown, because one of us needs to get something going. Here you go.
Oh, I was going to do this one. I was this close to doing this one.
And you're like, no, that's just too easy.
All right. Drove my Chevy to the levee. Yeah. Bye Miss American Pie by Don. Oh, now his name just went racing out of my head. Don.
Wow.
Don. I got Felder and Henley, and I can't think of anything else.
It was
Don Don. It's by Don Don. No, he made Baby Shark. I can't think of his. I'm blanking.
Don
McLean.
The album American Pie, 1971.
Not related to the movie soundtrack.
Not at all. Not at all. Whole different world.
Whole different world.
At any rate, the But pretty. Who doesn't know this song?
Anthem, whole,
Yeah.
you know. But
The entirety of the 70s.
If you heard it when it was in its prime, in its
You didn't hear the 8.5 minute version. You only heard the
you may
three
not
and a half.
have. You only heard it
the
on
3.5 minute version.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But the 3.5 minute version after the 5,000th hearing was enough.
Yes.
You didn't need to hear the 8
And I would bet that probably everybody that I know could give you at least 2 stanzas of this song.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Okay. What do I got? You might ask.
I don't know.
Well, ask. I'm proud.
Hey, what do you got, Reed?
You should know this song.
Meet the new boss, same as the old boss.
Right.
Won't get fooled again.
Right.
The Hoosters, 1973.
Ooh, 71. Pretty close.
That was actually my first thought, was 71.
71.
And I said, no,
You're trying to math up 2 years?
Yeah, you know.
Pete Townsend wrote that, and no one else is credited, so he's keeping it all to himself. Yeah, there's a surprise. The other guys, they just hung around to fill in the blanks. And Who's Next was the album.
You remember that album cover?
I do.
All of them urinating on some edifice of some kind. You know what? I've got... these are so easy.
Well, we're doing a lightning.
So
this
easy.
is a lightning round.
Man, so easy. And like literally everyone I have is a lay down here. I'm feeling like I'm...
Folks, we're enjoying a little laming out.
I'm going to give you one that is... And the sad thing is that this is the... this is the hardest one I have on these.
Considering our mutual crappy performance in the Prime Cuts segment, this is letting us pat ourselves on the back a little bit.
You should know this quick hit.
I should know. I'd give you everything and more, and that's for sure. Hold on. It's got to come. It's got to come. Oh, come on, brain. That's an easy one.
That's an easy one.
Super easy.
Been covered 16 times.
Give me another line.
That's the only line I got. This is quick hits, remember?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's floating around
it's
the fog.
the Yardbirds. Does that help?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Wait. It's just not coming through. I can hear the music.
Sure.
No.
For Your Love.
For Your Love. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. So I thought that
should have been a laydown.
That was the hardest one of the ones I have. I should have
absolutely should have been a laydown.
That's For Your Love, 1965, written by Graham Gouldman.
Man.
Yeah,
should have got that one.
I am very, very disappointed.
Boy, I could hear the guitar, you know what I mean, in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
Just wouldn't come through the fog.
All right, what do you got there, Chief?
DJ,
what should I know?
DJ, wake up. You know what?
What?
I'm certain that you're going to know this right off the bat.
Why would you do that?
You should know this song.
Sister sang in her sleep.
Oh, I thought that line.
No, I've got it. I've got it. It's Our House.
Yeah.
Madness is
right.
a band.
Correct.
I'm not gonna do it this time. 1979.
You should have rounded up 3.
I was actually going to go 82 and went
82.
backwards. Yeah. I was like, no, I just screwed that up by doing it the wrong way.
Yeah. Madness.
That is a fun tune.
I know. Yeah, that tune is still. I mean, really, it's still fun. The Rise and Fall is the name of the album, and 6 people contributed to writing that. So here I go. Graham McPherson, Michael Barson, Cathal Joseph Smith, Lee J. Thompson, Daniel Mark Woodgate, Christopher John Foreman, Mark William Bedford. There you go.
That's a bunch of guys.
That's the whole litany of people who contributed to making that fabulous, long-lasting hit for Madness.
Oh, yeah. That's one of my favorites. I can still hear that, you know.
Yeah.
I'm good with that coming on the radio as the next song. Anytime.
Yeah. Right.
All right, here I got one for you. You should know this quick hit.
Lyric is, now my girl, you're so young and pretty. Okay, this one, we got to get out of this place.
You actually got one.
Animals, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Burden and...
well, he
my
was
gosh.
one of the animals. He wasn't one of the writers.
He
Go on,
wasn't?
what year?
He wasn't?
Give me a year.
66?
65.
Oh,
very, very
my
nice.
gosh.
It was a single. It was not initially released on an album. And we've talked about these folks before. Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil, they were husband and wife, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
This was the husband and wife writing team.
Yeah, you've referenced
from the
them before.
Brill building.
Right.
So anyway, that's that one. What do you got for me? And we're coming up near the end here, so we want to make this your last one.
That's a fun song.
Or no?
Let's do
A couple more?
couple more.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Who started?
I did. You did.
So I'll do two more, and that means you'll do two more.
You got it. And they'll tell two friends, and so on.
And so on, and so on. And wash, rinse, and repeat. Okay, you should know this quick hit.
Once was a sweet thing, baby.
This will give it to you. Second clue.
You held my love in your hands. I had it. Oh, it was right there. I've lost it.
Guitar hero. Think blues rock guitar hero. He passed away.
As they all do. Nope, I don't have it.
Stevie Ray and Cold Shot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I thought that would zing right in there.
I did. Like, essentially, it jumped into my head and it jumped right out.
It's what happened with the
Sweet thing, baby.
song 2 songs ago with me. It was There, the Yardbird song.
Okay, so we need to start a different podcast.
Right.
I have no idea what this song is what we're going to call this one. Because we're just sucking today.
You should know 10% of the songs we're challenged with.
And you know the thing is that when the three people that listen to this, they're going to be going, "You're idiots."
Right. Now it's down to 2.
Yeah.
That was Cold Shot by Stevie Ray, baby, and 1984 from Couldn't Stand the Weather. Couldn't Stand the Weather, Texas Flood. You could just live on. You could just live on those 2 albums.
Absolutely.
I mean,
we've talked about that before.
Their bread and water and all the protein and nutrients you need for a full day's supply of vitamin C. Michael Kindred and Wesley Clark wrote that song. And now that I've gotten through that, you got to try me.
I got one for you.
Okay. Look at them yo-yos. That's the way you do it.
Yep.
The line I got is, I want my MTV. I want my MTV.
Can you name the song?
It's called...
I knew this.
Well, first off, this is... and Mark Knopfler and the band just ran out of my head. His band's name is I can't think of it right now, but I'll get back to
Who
the
was
name.
The guest on this?
Stingo. Der Stingle. Der Stingle was the guest singer.
And it was Mark Knopfler and I was trying to prompt it there.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, see, how about
Dire
the song?
Straits.
There you go. Thank you. And the name of the
song name is That Ain't Working. That's
no. You're really close.
Money for Nothing.
There you go.
Yeah.
Money for Nothing.
My DJ had to play the whole song. He had headphones on. He's like, "Hold on, we're almost there." So
I've got these ones that I've said are so easy. Maybe they're not as easy as I thought they were. So that's was
funny.
Written by Sting and Knopfler. It was on the Brothers in Arms album. Yes. By the way, there's another end-to-end great fucking album. 1985. And by the way, I had someone ask me why the listing on the podcast is explicit last night, and I said, when I say great fucking album, that makes it explicit. He's like, I don't know. I have tender ears.
Okay, this would be my last one for this segment. And you, this one's probably going to be a little more of a stretch, but you may know this quick hit.
Hey now, darling, I've been lied to. Hey now, darling, I've been lied to.
Here's another one.
I've been here many times before. Man, I know this. What is this?
Yeah, it's...
Tell me what it is.
It's a known song.
Yeah.
But it's not the...
Prime lyric?
It's not the stuff that you would know, that would flip to mind for this band.
Yeah.
Because the singer was an insert for a couple albums. That's Michael McDonald singing for...
Doobie Brothers.
Doobie Brothers. The Doobie
Minute
Brothers
by Minute.
ran out of my head. That's an example. I've got it right here on my screen, and I'm trying to think of it instead of looking at the screen.
That's Minute by Minute.
Minute by Minute, correct. The name of the song is Minute by Minute.
Off of the Living on the Fault Line album?
I believe so. Actually, the Minute by Minute album.
Okay.
Here, I've got it right here, and I'm trying to think again.
Think of it, yeah.
Why am I trying to use my brain? It's obviously not functioning today. That song was written by Lester Abrams and Michael McDonald. 1978 is the year.
Now, you said that he got inserted for a couple of albums.
Well, I use the word inserted. He
became the new lead singer.
He became the new lead singer
after an album or two working with Tom Johnston.
And then he wasn't the lead singer again, and somebody else was. So that's what I was saying. He got inserted is not the right term. Inserted isn't the right term.
Yeah.
He
I think
he got to be the lead singer for the Doobie Brothers
for more than a couple of albums.
For more, I thought it was like 2 or maybe 3.
I'll have to look that up.
More than that.
We'll fight this one out to the death when we're done here.
We will do it.
All right, so I've got that was actually a very good one. And I knew that I knew it. I just couldn't pull it out of my ass.
Coming through the fog. You love it coming through the fog.
And that's the best part of this is really sucking a lot, apparently.
There is something enjoyable
no,
about
there is not. There is nothing enjoyable.
For me, I'm still hearing what my brain did with that Yardbird song.
Yeah.
Like hearing those bits and pieces in your brain desperately trying, you know it. Your brain is just trying to put it together for you in a way that it can send. It's fascinating. Anyway,
here's one that you should know, this quick hit.
Not interesting for anyone out there in listener land.
Or even anyone in this room, really.
Well, me. And I'm someone, Race, whether you...
Okay,
my challenge, I should know this quick hit, is if the sky above you should turn dark and... I think that's if the sky above should turn dark and full of clouds.
No, it's if the sky above you... The comma's
above you. Well, comma's. If the sky above you should turn dark and full of clouds, is not ringing a bell for me.
Are you kidding me?
It is not. If the sky above you should turn dark and full of clouds.
And that old north wind should begin to blow.
Yeah, I know that lyric.
Yeah, you do.
That old north wind should begin to blow.
Really?
Go Get a Parka from Walmart. I know that song.
Okay, this is You've Got a Friend by James Taylor and written by Carole King. And I think we need to go out and come back in again.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because this is pathetic.
That's a flop.
Yeah, this is off Mudslide Slim. You talked about it being one of the first albums you bought. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
yeah, 1971. Gosh, that's
ridiculous. Why wouldn't that come to mind? Especially after you gave me the next line.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah. All right. Well, you need to.
Hey, you know what? This is sometimes it ebbs and flows, right? Some shows are good. Some shows are different.
Yes. Well, the show is still good. We just suck.
We suck. Right?
Yeah. And I mean, I say we because I haven't. What have I had? 2 all told? Excuse me. If that.
We're both pretty much scraping it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the next segment, fortunately, is we don't. There's no challenges. It's just talking.
It's just talking.
And we should be able to pull that off, right?
Right.
God.
So that was fun?
No.
Yeah.
No. I'm not used to being this bad.
We're both disappointed with ourselves. We're going to take a break before we do Uncontrolled Substance. We're both going to go flog each other, and then we're going to come back.
You can flog your own.
All right, I guess we're going to flog ourselves. We are going to do Uncontrolled Substance, and it's going to be about
the music that came out in 1984, 40 years ago.
Right. Now, you said, I thought you said albums specifically.
I referenced albums. I mean, it's,
okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to meander a little, but
but
we'll get there.
There'd be a surprise.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into it, as they say. And
all right. So our Uncontrolled Substance, we're looking at albums that were released 40 years ago.
It sounds less painful to say 1984 for some reason.
Yeah, I'm an old man. I got it. I'd rather be old than dead. So I'm going with that. We're going to start at the beginning of the year. We're not going to hit everything because there are dozens and dozens. And this, again, to address something we've addressed before. This is a real cool exercise. Pick your birth year. Pick the year you turned 16. Pick the year you married, you met your spouse or your significant other.
Pick something.
Pick a year and just go Google
albums that were released that year.
Or in this case, 1984 in music.
Right.
And it goes beyond rock and roll. On a given Wikipedia page, on a given Wikipedia page, cue the music.
Right. Yes. Donate to Wikipedia, donate to Wikipedia, donate to Wikipedia.
He only gets 3 per episode.
Got it in there.
Yeah. So at any rate, on a given Wikipedia page, it'll give you a little bit more about, like, people got married this year, this act, this band blew up, or this act, this drummer left the band kind of thing as well.
Behind the music kind of thing.
Yeah, a little bit. But it also just gives you a straight up list. And we're kind of just going to go through that right now.
Right.
And I'm going to start the first album released January 9th, 1984, Van Halen, There's a rocker for you.
1984 is the name of the album.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great one. Judas Priest came out with Defenders of the Faith.
That's an excellent album.
Yeah. And The Pretenders Learning to Crawl. That's an excellent album.
Utopia, Oblivion, another great one.
Right.
Bon Jovi's debut album, Bon Jovi.
Yeah, I didn't think that was that long ago.
Well,
wow.
Again, you're old. That happens,
hard.
Right?
Bon Jovi's a grandpa. How did that happen?
Yeah, he's got a TV show on right now, like a short documentary, a multi-episode documentary.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? About himself?
Neighbor was talking to me about it. She says it's actually pretty cool. I haven't seen it, but
okay.
If you're into that kind of thing.
I mean, the guy's,
right?
He's been around.
Yeah.
The Footloose soundtrack came out.
That's a fun soundtrack.
It kind of is. I mean, it's got some songs.
Yeah. Oh, it's a guilty pleasures kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah. It's been all over the radio and all that.
And there's more than just the Footloose song in that.
You get it. Well, that's true.
He went back recently to that high school.
The guy?
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
Went back to the high school that was centered around.
That it was, right.
I believe it might have been recorded at, or rather shot at.
Shot in? I didn't know that.
And he was back there for a fundraiser, and it was pretty cool. I saw like a little 30-second thing on the news.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty
That'd
fun.
be pretty cool for the people at the high school.
Absolutely. Because that's all, I mean, they all know the stuff, but none of the high school students were born when that came out.
Christine McVie put out a solo album called Christine McVie.
John Lennon, Yoko Ono, Milk and Honey.
That was an interesting album for me.
Yeah, that's a strange one, actually.
It was interesting.
Whitesnake.
Slide It In.
From the UK.
Right,
that was released in the UK.
Released in the UK.
Saxon, I'm not a big fan. I know some people that are.
I don't think I know any Saxon songs.
They're metal.
Are they?
Yeah. Metal.
Rockwell, Somebody's Watching Me with Michael Jackson. I think the guy had more songs than that, but the only thing anybody knows is Somebody's Watching Me with Michael Jackson.
Sure.
Grace Slick Software was the name of her one of her solo releases.
Anthrax, Fistful of Metal. Again, not a huge Anthrax fan, but they're in the same neighborhood as Saxon, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And I know that there are 2 or 3 people, some serious metal people, are going to say, "What the hell are you talking about? They're not even in the same." You know what I'm saying? That's kind of a deal.
If you hover on the name of the album, Fistful of Metal, you can see the cover art, which is pretty entertaining there.
Yeah.
Steve Vai came out with Flexible that year.
And he and Satriani are in town here in St. Louis this next week, I believe.
Yeah, playing together.
And they're touring, obviously, across the country.
Such a great show to go see. If you could, Donovan came out with Lady of the Stars.
And I didn't have any idea he was still even touring at that point.
No idea.
Nugent with Penetrator. Let's see here. 38 Special Tour de Force.
38 Special.
And I think that's going to take us into February. And we're probably going to do a couple less per month because it'll take all
we
day.
got to get going. Simple Minds, Sparkle in the Rain.
Good stuff.
Right?
Yep.
Modern English.
Ricochet Days. I don't know the album, but I know Modern English. And
Melt With You.
I mean, this was pretty much, the whole, like you said, new wave era here. The next 3 or 4.
Exactly.
Thomas Dolby, Talk, The Alarm. All of them had albums come out.
Right.
And all of them were...
Talk, It's My Life. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Rat,
Didn't that get covered by somebody who did that?
Gwen Stefani, no doubt.
No
Gwen,
doubt.
I think that was just Gwen Stefani solo.
I'm not sure.
Rat Out of the Cellar.
I remember that album. My brother had that album.
And here you go with a little a quick list of exactly what we were referencing as far as sort of new wave goes. I don't want to skip Manfred Mann's Earth Band Budapest Live, but then we go to Thompson Twins, The Smiths, Madness, Missing Persons, Golden Earring, Dead Can Dance. I mean, that is a That's a pretty thick
and you
slice
crossed
of new
over.
wave
You
right
passed
there.
over a couple that weren't new wave there.
Right.
And I don't know how you fit Golden Earring in the new wave. That was just Earring in the new wave. It just kind of
they were a little more rock.
Europe, Wings of Tomorrow, Queen, The Works. We actually referenced that in the previous segment.
Alan Parsons Project.
Alan Parsons. I love some Alan Parsons, and I do have an Alan Parsons reference coming up later on.
Oh, nice.
Wang Chung, April Wine.
Animal Grace, Manowar. I don't know that I ever knew any Manowar. Van Morrison though, live album.
Yep.
And there's Eminem hitting the picture. Roger
By the way, he
Daltrey.
was the the NFL draft was this week, this past several days. It was held in Detroit. So when Roger Goodell came out to, and you know Roger Goodell, you have no idea. I know you don't follow football.
I don't.
But when Roger Goodell comes out for the draft, it's a thing that they boo him. And it's been he's the commissioner of the league, and it happens every time. And he even now he lives it. He enjoys it. But Eminem was the guest announcer to start the draft.
Did he perform?
No. He just came out and let's go Detroit, blah blah blah.
Wow.
And
bizarre.
And it was bizarre because I didn't recognize him. I know what he looks like.
Right.
But he's older now.
You know what he looked like.
Yes. I took him and I was like, is that Eminem?
Right.
And it was weird because the commissioner kept calling him Eb. Hey, Em. It sounded like old white man. Hey, Em.
I call him by his first M.
That was weird.
Did they introduce him as Eminem or Marshall Mathers?
He didn't. He just, you know who he is.
Yeah.
I think Eminem is who he, yeah.
Okay,
anyway, sorry for that digression there,
we're
but it was
into
funny.
March. I think we're into March, right?
Yes. And the first album in March?
Album in March.
This is Spinal Tap. Yes, that was an
God.
exceptionally good, funny, great album.
Oh my gosh.
Right up our alley.
Still hilarious. Still just worth going back. Go back. I mean, watch the movie Spinal Tap. It's top of the game. It's still, wow. Anyway, we got David Gilmour, About Face in there. That was actually a really good album.
Yeah. Ingve. Rising Force.
Yngwie Malmsteen.
Do you know him? Ingve
Yeah, I do.
Malmsteen?
I'm familiar with a little bit of his stuff.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Really,
if you're a guitar guy, he's
right.
definitely an aficionado.
Right.
Howard Jones and the Hoodoo Gurus.
They had some really cool music.
They did.
I know they were an Aussie band. I'm not sure, or New Zealand. I don't know which, but I don't know if they're still going on. But they did some really cool music.
Absolutely.
Marillion, that album, I believe, was really cool. Berlin, Love Life, that was a great album. The Cars, Heartbeat City.
Joe Jackson, Body and Soul.
How are we going to hurry this up? Look at the albums. We're only in March, and we can't get past 2.
Dire Straits.
Style Council, the Go-Go's.
XXth with the swing.
XXth with the swing.
Sabotage. There's another one of those bands that fits with those other bands that doesn't really fit with those other bands.
Exactly. Run DMC, King Crimson.
Three of a Perfect Pair. That was actually, I bought that album. That was a very strange album, but it was a King Crimson album, so it was going to be strange.
It was supposed to be weird. Scorpions, Love at First Sting. Love at First Sting. Black Flag.
Great White.
Some Black Flag and Great White. Hanoi Rocks.
They were a punk band.
Yes.
A pretty substantial one for a while.
Right.
Moving on to April of 1984. It looks like there was less going on.
Short. It's going to help us out here. REM, Ultravox, first off.
And then
came out with Lament. REM.
And then Rush with Grace Under Pressure.
Yeah, good album.
Bananarama. You remember Bananarama.
Bananarama.
I want to say that Dave Stewart of the Eurythmics married one of the Bananarama people.
Well, you can go ahead and say that if you want to.
I could easily be wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember that happening.
People say what they want to say all the time. It doesn't make it true.
Yeah, OMD.
OMD, Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark.
The Junk Culture.
Roger Waters, The Cure, Styx, Slade, and...
I didn't even know Slade was still together then.
Steve Perry. Yeah, I didn't know they were still making music. Keep Your Hands Off My Power Supply is the name of the Slade album. Steve Perry, Street Talk. That was a big album for him.
Lou Reed, New Sensations. That would have been a good one.
Yeah. How did I skip that?
I don't know. You're an old man. You missed shit.
That was April, folks.
Jumping back into the new wave era here, I'm going to jump past a couple just to kind of link these together. Echo and the Bunnymen, Human League, Violent Femmes, the Bangles.
Yeah.
And that's just in the first 4 or 5 in May. Legend from Bob Marley. That's the only album that had to come out that year. Like everything else could have not come out, and that one would have been.
I was going to say that month, but you're right. That year, that album could have come out, and everybody would have been fine with the rest.
Absolutely.
Of it. Twisted Sister, Stay Hungry, Chicago 17.
Can you believe that?
Oh my gosh, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Couldn't Stand the Weather. Yeah, baby. That album is up there for me too. I never knew any Kick-Axe.
Neither did I. Tina Turner's Private Dancer. Like,
Yeah.
that was huge
That
for
was
her.
a
That was like
huge album for her.
I want to say that was a comeback album, but I could certainly be misrepresenting.
Jefferson Starship had an album named Nuclear Furniture, and the name of the album is really enjoyable.
You like that?
Yeah. Joe Cocker, Civilized Man, Red Rider,
Breaking
Breaking
Curfew.
Curfew.
Yep.
That's some good stuff right there. Go listen to it if you can. Lizzie Borden.
Give Him the Axe is the name of the album.
I just had to pay attention to that. I don't.
That was actually an EP, not an album. American heavy metal band formed in formed in '83.
Now the Boomtown Rats album, that is a cool album right there. If you haven't listened to any Boomtown Rats, they weren't around for long, but that was a really cool band. Moving along, Nick Lowe.
And his cowboy outfit.
That's right.
It was pretty good. I love me some Nick Lowe.
Al Stewart, Russians and Americans. Bruce Coburn, Stealing Fire.
Eurythmics, Touch Dance.
Touch Dance. Hagar, Schoen, Aronson, and Shreve, HSAS. Remember that album?
Through the Fire. I don't remember the album. I do remember that it was a project.
I hadn't thought of that album until just seeing it here, but that was a really cool. There was some really great music on that album. That's worth a reach back to check out too.
A couple of real serious hits here. Born in the USA by Springsteen. We're into
June. Yeah.
Yeah. Glamorous Life by Sheila E. I had that album. That's She's not just that song.
No, I know.
That whole album was pretty good.
Really
she
does
can
make
play
a lot
the
of really
fuck
cool
out of the
music.
drums.
She's involved in making a lot of really good music, whether it's with other parties that she's known to have done music with. She is really involved in a lot of great music. Susie and the Banshees, Hyena, come on, that's the core of hardcore new wave, with a little, what would you call that, alternative mixed in there. John Waite, No Breaks.
I don't know that she has. Like, I never was able to categorize her.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? She just seemed to be able to do what she wanted and do a hell of a good job, right?
The Specials.
There you go.
In the studio.
I don't know the album specifically, but I know some of their stuff.
Elton John, Rod Stewart.
Here's a great name for a band: Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds.
Yeah,
I don't know them.
That band is actually Nick Cave and that band are actually pretty cool, but they're hard to categorize also.
And their album was From Her to Eternity. All right, so we got Elvis Costello and the Attractions, Goodbye Cruel World. Glenn Frey had a new album out. Art of Noise had a new album out. Roger Glover, the drummer from Deep Purple. Not drummer, I'm sorry, bass player from Deep Purple.
Yeah.
Mike Oldfield of Tubular Bells fame had a new album out that year.
Spandau Ballet, Prince and the Revolution.
Purple Rain, by the way. Purple Rain. Again, one of those albums that could have carried the year.
Seminal kind of thing. The Waterboys, Michael Schenker Group.
Rock Will Never Die. That's a live album, and it rocks.
Yeah,
it is a great album.
And the Rolling Stones, that's a compilation, Rewind.
Yep. Moving into July.
Dio, The Last in Line. That was a big album for him.
Absolutely, and a great album. Public Image Limited had a new album out on the 6th.
The Time Ice Cream Castle. That was a really fun album. Really fun album. Here you go, Sade, Diamond Life. Yep. And Neil Diamond to go with the Diamond Life.
Oh, there you go.
Sade's
and they
album.
were released on the same day. I wonder if that was intentional.
I think this Stryper album, I wasn't a Stryper follower, but Stryper had an album out, The Yellow and Black Attack. And I'm pretty sure that album had a couple of their real big radio hits. I think that was the big album for them, if I'm not mistaken. I do know a couple of songs off that album.
Yeah, they were Christian rock, weren't they?
Yeah, those two songs were crossover-y. They weren't the two that I remember from the radio weren't Christian oriented. But anyway, Rick Springfield.
Okay.
Rick Springfield. Moving on.
Sammy Hagar, VOA. Metallica. Ride the Lightning, another good album. Quiet Riot and Pantera both had albums come out on the same day.
Lindsey Buckingham, Go Insane. There were some really great songs on there. Stephen Stills, Right By You.
Y&T and Rock We Trust. Do you know that album?
I do not.
Yeah. That's pretty good stuff right there. My brother had that album.
There's Billy Squier with Signs of Life. Helix is aren't they another metal band? Isn't Helix a metal kind of Anthrax?
Yeah. A Canadian band.
Loudness And Husker Du.
Husker Du. I was a Husker Du fan.
Yeah, so was I.
What a dweeb I was. All right, Slayer.
We're heading in August with
Slayer, Haunting the Chapel.
Red Hot
RHCP with their debut album. Say that again. With their debut album. Amazing.
Holy cow.
Let's see. Wasp, and then the Psychedelic Furs with Mirror Moves. Zappa. Boulez conducts Zappa, The Perfect Stranger. I don't know this. What is this?
Wow, that's... I don't know that I've heard that either.
I'm going to have to go check that
I like the
out.
name of the band Soda Stereo. I have no idea what that's about. I've never heard of it before, but I might go check that out.
An Argentine rock band.
Yeah. Kansas? Best of Kansas. Okay, that's a best of album. Crocus, The Blitz. That was a cool album. The Fix, Phantoms, Flock of Seagulls, A Story of a Young Heart, and another Hanoi Rocks. That's two.
There were two Slade albums as well in the one was a best of though.
Yeah, one was a compilation.
All right, into September for our metalheads, Power Slave,
Iron Maiden, Power Slave,
and Queensryche.
Jethro Tull, Under Wraps. Oh yeah, you're pairing the Queensryche and Iron Maiden.
Yes, I was, and I'll get punched
for that.
Although
Queensryche, I don't know. Queensryche has a weird mix of metal and
almost prog.
Yeah.
Agreed.
The Cult, Dreamtime, that's awesome.
That's good stuff. Kiss, Animalize.
Kiss, Animalize. Dokken, Tooth and Nail, and of course the Butthole Surfers. Who can forget the Butthole Surfers?
Just because it's one of the greatest band names.
That's a live album for them. America Perspective. I don't recall.
It's probably some kind of a retrospective deal.
Right.
David Bowie tonight and Depeche Mode.
Right.
Both albums were really, really good.
Alphaville, Bachman Turner Overdrive, BTO is the album title there. That's puzzling.
Andy
isn't
Summers and Robert Fripp, an album called Bewitched. I obviously know who both of them are.
Right.
Andy Summers from from the Police.
The Police, right.
And Robert Fripp just being Robert Fripp. Originally, if I'm not mistaken, was King Crimson was the first time that I knew of him.
Yeah.
But I have to check that one out. That's going to be a real weird album.
Motorhead, No Remorse. There's Motorhead can be put up there with all the metal, but they're like the metalist of metal. Isn't Motorhead like the metalist of metal?
Some people might argue with you, but yes, for me they are. Yes.
Nazareth, The Catch, Dennis D. Young, Desert Moon. That was a big album for him, and
Yeah,
you got your position on it. I'll say that.
I didn't listen to. I haven't listened to a lot of Dennis D. Young away from Styx.
There's another Black Flag album. That's the second one, and neither are complications.
You okay there?
Compilations.
Ricky Lee Jones. That's one of my. I love me some Ricky Lee Jones.
Gosh,
it's not really
awesome.
in our wheelhouse, but Zebra, No Telling Lies.
Rick James.
This is the album that I have. The one that has my wife's La La song on it.
Oh, is that? Oh, the Zebra album.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Rick James, Dave Edmunds, Riff Raff.
The Go-Betweens, I do know a song or two of theirs, but they were like listened to them a little bit and then went away. Steve Hackett, Until We Have Faces, that's actually a cool album. Survivor, Vital Signs, that was a hit album for them. Let's see what October has to show us.
Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, Glorious Results of a Misspent Youth. What a great name for an album.
Yeah. There's Chaka Khan, I Feel For You.
Khan.
Oh my gosh.
Chaka Khan. Midnight Oil. Red Sails in the Sun Yet. Ramones, Too Tough to Die. I mean,
come on.
I love that one.
Yeah.
U2, The Unforgettable Fire. That was a big hit for them.
They have a lot of big albums like that.
The Replacements, Let It Be. I love The Replacements. They are a great band.
Oh my gosh, such a great band.
There's a Barbara Streisand one we're walking right over. Devo, Shout.
Good album for them.
Their 6th album came out that month.
Hall & Oates, Big Bam Boom. That was a big old album for them right there.
AC/DC, 74 Jailbreak. And then back to the other side. XTC, The Big Express. Talking Heads, Stop Making Sense. Remember that one.
That's huge.
Julian Lennon, had an album called Velotte, I believe. VALOTTE, Velotte.
Velotte.
It was his debut studio album.
Yeah.
UB40 came out with...
I'm actually older than that, but...
I'm
so sorry for that one.
Zappa, Them or Us.
Yeah. Big Country, Steel Town.
I like that album.
Paul McCartney, Give My Regards to Broad Street.
Deep Purple, Perfect Strangers. That was their reunion album. I saw them that year. That was a good one. Frankie Goes to Hollywood. So that was Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. Banned all over Europe. Relax was banned all over Europe. And it spent something like 40 weeks at the top of the charts, largely because of the ban.
Right.
Yeah. Let's see here. What do you got next?
There's Roger Hodgson. There's Meatloaf. There's Tommy Shaw. There's a Steve Miller Band. My gosh. Level 42, True Colors. That was a great
Gary
album
Moore,
too.
We Want More. That's a live album that I really loved.
Yeah.
In November, Cocteau Twins, Alison Moyet, Wham, Bryan Adams. What a way to start off the month.
REO Speedwagon. There's Gary Newman, Berserker.
Yep.
Eurythmics, 1984.
That was a soundtrack album there. Duran
Arena,
Duran.
that was a big album
The
for
Smiths
them.
again. That's their second album.
Mentioned in this. Honey Drippers,
Robert
Volume
Plant.
1.
Wasn't that his debut solo album?
I think it was with the Honey Drippers at least.
Yeah.
It's called the Honey Drippers as the name of the album, and I thought that was the name of the group he was actually playing with. But regardless, great album.
They were formed in 81. He wanted a heavy metal, blah blah blah. So yeah, that was probably more of a compilation thing, right?
You loved Madonna's "Like a Virgin" album.
My wife does. She certainly does. And Madonna had her place in the day. We don't have to.
I was never the fan, but it wasn't my thing. But that doesn't mean it wasn't.
Building the Perfect Beast, Don Henley.
Yeah, that's a great album.
Yes, it is. And the third Zappa album to come out that year. And by the way, Split Enz also are the predecessors to Crowded House.
Yes. Bob Dylan, Real Live. So that was a live album. Gino Vanelli's Black Cars. I played the song Black Cars off of that in a band I was in.
Did you
so weird
ever listen to any of his stuff? He really had an amazing voice, and
he really did have a good voice.
Like that Nights in Montreal thing that was so adult contemporary was kind of weird. But that 76, there was an album that came out. I think it was just called Gino Vanelli.
Yeah.
And him and his brother were two of the musicians. It was really it was definitely, kind of crooner.
Pop crooner, yeah.
Yeah, but there was some really cool stuff. Cool stuff.
That's funny. The Who's Last came out. Billy Bragg. Oh, come on. If you don't love Billy Bragg, go listen to Billy Bragg.
Oingo Boingo.
Yeah, we skipped Molly Hatchet there. The DB's
I did, but
Oingo Boingo is so low. Love some Oingo Boingo. Toto Isolation. What else we got here? Linda Ronstadt,
Lush Life. Pat Benatar, Tropico. I don't know the album, but I probably know some of the songs on it.
Right. Let's get to December, shall we?
A second Mike Oldfield album. Again,
the Killing Fields.
Foreigners, Agent Provocateur.
That
was in the heart of their heyday, if you will.
Solid album. There's Frank Zappa, Thingfish.
That would be. Is that 4 or 5?
I think it's 4.
Wow.
I think it was 4. He was, he was pushing them out there.
I'm telling you. Black Flag and Butthole Surfers again.
Right. Black Flag's, that's a live album, Live 84. Skinny Puppy, there's the first appearance of them this year. And there's Black Flag's Slip It In. Golden Earring, Something Heavy Going Down. And the Alan
so
Parsons
Black Flag
project,
was Slip It In, but Whitesnake was Slide It In. They both came out the same year.
Good reach
It's
back.
the second Golden Earring album there.
Right.
And again, an Alan Parsons project album. So that's not everything. That's just a handful. What a bunch of great albums were there, and a bunch of great music came out. And we only covered the stuff that's specific to the kind of shit we listen to.
Right.
There were another, 4 or 5, 7 dozen of stuff by country bands and alternative bands and.
Right, and there's a list below with release dates unknown, and just touching on kind of a few of what's in the list that's not officially in the list because
it doesn't have a month.
Release date's not known. Right. Meat Puppets, Opium,
Box of Frogs. Remember them?
Box of Frogs.
Yep. Bunch of stuff.
Julian Cope.
Yep.
The Ghostbusters soundtrack. How does that not have a date?
I don't know. Maybe there was more than one.
Anyway.
Meatloaf Hits Out of Hell. How Will the Wolf Survive? Los Lobos. That's a great album.
I had that album.
Yeah, that's a great album. Robin Hitchcock and the Egyptians.
Super great. Honeymoon Suite. That was a big. That had a couple of really big radio
The only thing
tunes
about these are not lesser albums. They just don't have an actual release date to attach to it.
They're not in the list proper.
Right. Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. Remember them? The Church. That was a pretty good album too. Remote Luxury.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I think we
beat that horse.
Right. Oh, and then we've got the biggest hit singles, but we're going to walk past those. Oh, I Just Called to Say I Love You by Stevie Wonder. The only reason I mention this is because it gets referenced in a movie with John Cusack and Jack Black, the first time I ever saw Jack Black in a movie.
Yeah.
Where, and the name of the movie will come to me in a minute, but Jack Black is essentially saying, is it better to burn out or to fade away? Can you fault somebody like Stevie Wonder and his phenomenal thing for putting out Drek like I Just Called to Say I Love You?
Right.
Yeah.
So the thing here, when I'm scrolling back up this page, if you guys have not yet hopped on Wikipedia and looked at the subject 1984 in music to follow along, and maybe we should have said that at the front of the segment here. When you scroll down, the number of clickables and hot links is unimaginable. You can go through this page and probably spend a week. Seriously, every time I let the cursor rest, it's something I want to click on and look at. It's unbelievable. References to Tears for Fears, Michael Jackson, Bryan Adams, and every time you park the cursor for 1 second, you see something that's like, up. I got to know what that is. So, again, props to Wikipedia. It took some effort to put this page together. It
certainly didn't happen by one guy or in one day. But check this out. These are films, music-related films that came out in 84, and I'm only going to hit a couple of them.
Right.
Amadeus, Footloose, Give My Regards to Broad Street, The Muppets Take Manhattan, Purple Rain, Streets of Fire, This Is Spinal Tap. Those are just a handful of the movies that came out in 84. So anyway.
I watched Amadeus more times than Spinal Tap, but maybe only a couple more times.
That's Amadeus is an amazing movie.
Yeah, I was.
All right, so we've been rambling and running our mouths long enough.
We have.
I think that it's probably time for us to stop. It's you. It's always you.
It's us.
All right.
It's apes. It's what apes
we
do.
are Mixed Apes.
And so are you, by the way. You're Mixed Apes. If you're listening, congratulations. Whether you like it or not, you got the tattoo.
So. There you go. This is, you should know this song, the world famous, or the world with an H,
World Shameless
podcast for lyric challenges and other miscellaneous BS.
And our input, thoughts, critique, commentary, factoids, and inaccuracies.
And yes,
all rolled into one. It's
absolutely.
one big hoagie.
We are asking you to share, follow, go out and get some crayons and a big board and go out and write some stuff on the wall and, or put it in front of your garage and then stand there and tell people about us because we're cool and stuff like that.
Have your kids go out and set up a lemonade stand and talk about mixed apes while they're selling lemonade.
Good God.
Promote them, kids. Get them inducted early is my point.
Yeah.
Okay, so
slave labor. Why not? They're cheap.
Thanks for listening. Check out the website. Let us know what you think of the show. Comment and come back.
Aight.
Okay, I think that's it. And we'll set ourselves up for the next time we see you on You Should Know This Song.
By Mixed Apes. We're out.
Bye.